I am ready to get started to work on the van for the day. It's been raining all morning and it's kind of just stopped, and I think it's gonna be it for the rest of the day. And last night I came back down here to finagle with getting this refrigerator drawer nice and square, and I think I got it. Took a little while, but I had to take off that back piece in order to kind of move the entire thing, because I think the back piece was making the closet in an alignment that wasn't really that straight. But yeah, I added a few more brackets here, or beams, to keep it the same width all around. Another one down here. But you can even tell, like right now, the board is actually like bending a little bit to the right side in the middle here. Just really the middle. The bottom is right, the top is right, but the middle is like on both sides is bent a little bit to this side. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another piece of board right in the middle to force it to bend this way. And that will make it exactly the way I want it to be, nice and square. So I'm going to work on that first. I'm going to cut some wood now. And let's get started on today's van build. Today's day 49 of our DIY Sprinter van build. And the reason why we have to get this as square as possible is because the next thing that's going to be dependent on this being square is the upper cabinets on the side. We're going to be adding upper cabinets right above the back seats here. Just be a little bit more storage right up top here. So I can actually get started on that now that this is a square. So let's get some wood. I love that the weather has finally cooled down here in New York. The beginning of the van build was just so miserable. It was like in the high 80s, mid 90s. That was just so bad. Now it's like, today's like 65, but it rained a little bit. It doesn't look like there's any rain in the forecast this week, so I'm gonna try to utilize as much of this nice weather to work on the van as possible. Just cut a piece of 30.5 long piece of wood here to help set the height of this. I am finally done with getting these two cabinets square. Got these reinstalled and everything is looking good. I had to use that clamp and really use the force of the clamps to get this thing to get into place, but it's finally done. I'm gonna leave it at that with this, and I'm not gonna work on any upper cabinets yet because it's gonna take a lot more wood cutting, which I wanna save for one day when I'm just doing a bunch of wood cutting. That'll be a little bit more efficient. So I'm gonna go back to another project that I was working on the other day, which is the elevator bed rails. So let's get that installed first. I got a few pieces of wood now, and I got some new screws so we can get that project continued. So where we left off last time with the elevator bed rail install was that I wasn't able to get the rails level because I didn't have these blocks that I recently made. These are two pieces of the 3/4 inch blocks glued together, and this is gonna be the block where the upper part of the bed rail is gonna sit. And that should bring it to a nice level and square position. So let me get these blocks. I made 4 of them. So let me get these blocks installed on the frame of the van here, and let's try to put the rails on. That the block is secured to the frame of the van, I can attach the rail right on this block. And then on the bottom, we will measure how far out it has to come in order for this to be square. Okay. So the rail is attached to the furring strip now, and you can see on the bottom here, this is not attached yet because the problem that I'm trying to solve for is how do I get this to be square, all four corners of it, so that the rails can glide without any sort of hiccup. And so I think the solution for me with this is I'm gonna install the rail on this side too and measure the distance between the rail from here to here. And on the bottom, I'm gonna be adding a few pieces of board to extend this out. Something along the lines of like this. But right now I don't know how many boards I need. So once I get the distance, I'm gonna cut a piece of long board so that I can measure what the distance is between and bring it to the bottom. So that way I will know how far out I need to extend it in order for it to be completely square. It looks like 56 and a half or a quarter. I can't see it exactly from this angle because it's a cylinder shape here. So I will just cut it at 56 and a half and then I will adjust, make it smaller as I need to. Oh, 56 and a half is exactly right. Perfect. The boards that I'm going to be cutting is going to be square or rectangular shapes that is just going to layer on top of each other until it gets to the distance where this side meets this side. And it's also going to serve another purpose, which is to mount the linear actuators. Let me show you guys what the linear actuators look like. So we got 4 of these guys. 4 linear actuators. It's got a motor over here, and this is the stroke. It gets synchronized with a module so that it goes up. The stroke here goes up at the same speed, which is the lifting force to bring the entire bed frame up and down. So this is going to sit at the bottom here, and I want to make sure the piece of board that I cut is going to be big enough for me to also mount this, because it's also going to be at the same level, just right next to the rail here. So I gotta make a measurement. Either it's going to sit on this side or this side, and I want it to be as close to each other as possible, just so that you don't see a lot of different rails while we're sitting down here on the platform. It just kind of look like it's one rail. Wow, keeps going. I already put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of board here. It looks like it needs more. I underestimated how deep of that gap is from that curvature of the van. All right, let's try a little bit more. I'll loosen this too. So it's 6 boards. I think we're right there. I'm gonna add another piece of, I think this is a 1/8. 1/8 here. 1/8. Both sides. Right there. We're right there. It's pretty crazy to see how many blocks I have to use to get this thing to square up, but this is what it looks like. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of the 3/4 inch and a 1/8 inch, but it looks right. It looks square now. Just take a step back. Yeah, the 2 rails are straight. With that, now I can fabricate probably like a little box that's going to be this distance. So I don't want to use like so many pieces of wood here. It's sort of a waste. So I'm just going to make like a box with this distance, and I'll do it for the 4 sides, and that should square up the entire bed frame. All right, let me install the other 2 on the back. So a little bit of an issue on the back side here. I think this width is a little bit tighter, more narrow than the width on the front, probably because of the curvature of the back going this way, which means this is a little bit too thick, and as well as this one, and I'm gonna have to adjust it. Yeah, you thought it was easy, all 4 would be the same? Nah, it's a little different. Okay, let me figure that out then. So here's where I'm at with this bed rail situation. I cut 2 small pieces of blocks to length to replace the stack of wood there, and the board that I cut earlier actually fits perfectly right over here. Can we go down a little bit? Yeah. However, the blocks put behind here and here does not fit because this is actually shorter in width. So I modified 2 more pieces, a little bit shorter than the ones over here, to see if the measurement here is going to be more or less on point, because this beam is actually the critical beam that we need to measure against. This is going to be the frame of the bed once we build it. So regardless of how wide the actual van is, the frame needs to be constant. See, I cut it a little bit too short here. There's a little bit room. So I will modify it to make this beam fit, not just the bottom here, but also up top here. That'll be square once this fits all over. All right, just cut 2 new pieces of board. Let's see if this fits. Oh, I think this is the same. Yes, I got it. All right, this is perfect. So now this distance between these two rails and those two rails are identical. Nice. And I will modify the top section accordingly because this rail is not going to fit flush there. This actually didn't fit because it's closer, so it's a little bit too tight. So I need to take those two blocks off, chop it a little bit, make it a little bit thinner in order to get this thing to fit. We are pretty close to getting the rails figured out. It's almost time for dinner, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. We'll leave it for another day. So yeah, that's it for our van build today. Hey, let's see what my mom made for dinner tonight. Chị làm món sạch xiên. Oh, wow, hôm nay con thử gì? Got a fish, some beef and vegetables, some shrimp and celery, and some rice. Yeah, okay. Hold on, Sakana. Let's eat. Beef, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Rice and beef. Yeah, we're gonna do rice and beef. Okay, Sakana, all day. Okay. Oh. Yeah. We just got done with dinner, and we're kind of just hanging out here in the living room, right? You see? Uh-huh. And did you have a good dinner? Yeah. Yeah, Spencer ate really good. And rice. What did you eat? Beef. Rice and beef. Uh-huh. You did really good. Yeah. And ice cream? And ice cream. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to end the video here. Tomorrow we're going to continue working on a van. I think the weather is going to be cooperative, so hopefully I can get the rails for the elevator bed done tomorrow, hopefully. So if you guys want to keep following our DIY Sprinter van build, hit that subscribe button so you get notified when the new videos come out. And if you enjoy watching this video, smash that. What do you smash, Spence? Yeah, show me. What do you smash? Smash that like button so that can spread to more people. We really appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Here you go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.